Attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hello, good afternoon or good morning. We are very pleased to have you here. My name is Monica. I'm part of the Secretariat team of IAVE, and this is one of our webinars on the IAVE World Volunteer Conference, which will be held in Mexico City November 7 to 10, and also the 8th World Youth Volunteer Conference in Puebla some days before, November 3 to 5 this year. So here we are with the explanations, with details that perhaps you may want to review. Even all this information is in the website, the hot site of the conference, but here you have the opportunity to have a dialogue with the Secretariat team and the committee, planning committee of the conference. So I will, if you give me 1 second, I will share my screen with you. And please, my colleagues, can tell me if you are seeing the first slide.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, as you know, this is a very informal informational webinar, so you can write down your questions at any time in this question section, but also you can raise your hand and I can open the microphone for you, and so you have a dialogue. Here we are with Kathy Dennis, our Executive Director, with Jessica, our communication guru, and with Raida Mana, which is in charge of the youth conference. So I will ask, please, Kathy, to say welcome and begin our presentation. Kathy, are you unmuted? Because
Okay,
we
yes,
are not. Okay,
muted.
that's it.
Sorry. Welcome, everybody. For us, it's afternoon. Thank you for joining us on this webinar, informational webinar about the IAVE World Conference and World Youth Volunteer Conference coming up later this year. Again, as Monica said, if you have any questions along the way, please do not hesitate to raise your hand and ask them. There are a couple points where we will be stopping during the webinar to answer questions. So please write your questions down and we'll be happy to accommodate. Thank you.
Okay. So, Kathy?
Sure. So our host for the conference, our local host is SEMEFI, which is a Mexican philanthropic center. It's one of the largest organizations in Mexico, and of course IAVE. The dates of the conference, as we mentioned, as Monica mentioned, the youth conference is the 3rd through the 5th of November in Puebla, Mexico, which is a couple hours outside of Mexico City, and the World Volunteer Conference is in Mexico City beginning on November 7th through 10th. And I'm going to turn it over to Raida.
Okay, Raida, if you can unmute yourself for us to hear you. Hello, Raida.
Yes, I'm sorry. I had a problem with my connection. Can you hear me well right now?
We are hearing you. Okay, okay. Thank
Great.
you.
If by any chance you happen to stop hearing me, it's probably my connection. So I'll ask you to please continue. So yes,
Okay.
as it is tradition in IAVE, we have, in parallel to the World Volunteer Conference and a World Youth Volunteering Conference, this is the 8th World Youth Volunteer Conference. The past ones have been in Amsterdam, Korea, Spain, India, Panama, Singapore, and Australia, and now we're very happy to tell you that we're going to have a youth conference in Mexico. Also, every 10 years, IAVE celebrates the World Summit on Youth Volunteering. The first one was in Tokyo in 2001, and the second one took place in Barranquilla, Colombia in 2011. So this conference that we are promoting and developing in Mexico is it's on the road for us to prepare for our next World Youth Volunteering Summit. A little bit of general information on the youth conference. The 8th IAVE World Youth Volunteering Conference aims to renew the youth volunteering vision and acknowledging its role as a key factor for development, and also as a essential part of the citizenship exercises that youth play in their communities and their society. The IAVE World Youth Volunteer Conference is a unique opportunity for young volunteers from ages up to the age of 30 to meet together, to volunteer together, but most importantly, to learn and to reflect on their projects, on their initiatives, and how can they build long-lasting relationships that can also benefit the work that they're doing in their countries. So the general theme of the youth conference, we're excited about this. This has been a result of a lot of consultation with youth around the world, with youth volunteers around the world, and we're happy to announce that the overall frame of the conference is around the Sustainable Development Goals, but it's not only about explaining them and what they are and how can we achieve them, but it's more about highlighting what are the activities and the projects and the initiatives that youth are doing in order to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. And so we're going to have a lot of topics and subtopics that come out of this general frame. And this is a little bit of what I was telling you. So we're going to have 3 days of activities. On day 1, the idea is to go deeper into volunteerism for building a healthy, dignified, and equal environment. On day 2 is volunteering for sustainable progress, and on day 3 is volunteerism for strengthening a global alliance for peace. One very important thing about this particular moment, this particular part of the presentation is that this is just the general sub-themes of each day, but if you go to our website, you will be able to find both in English and Spanish what subjects are we going to be touching based on each of the days. And so yes, this is a little bit of how the structure will be. This is still a draft, so there might be changes. The idea is to start on Thursday, November 3rd with a registration that will begin around 8 a.m. and then having an official ceremony of opening ceremony at 10 a.m. And then on the first day, we're going to have volunteering activities. What's really important right now is that to mention is that in every youth volunteering conference of IAVE, we aim to achieve 3 things. The first one is inspiration. So that is what happened with our breakup sessions and our plenaries. We want young people to hear from successful projects and successful activities that might inspire them to do more and to do better volunteering. Then the other thing, the second thing, is the skills development, and that's what happens with our workshops and our discussions. And the third thing is action, and that is what we promote with having volunteering activities during our conference. So the idea is to have a full working day on Friday and then end around 4 p.m. on Saturday. Yes. This is a little bit of what I was explaining earlier. So we're going to have plenary breakout sessions. We're not only going to have volunteering activities, but we're also going to have a projects fair for those who want to share the work that they're doing with the participants. And coming soon, we're going to be sending you the program structure and the speakers. So we had an open call that it was open to get speakers, and it was open until May the 20th. We left it open for an extra week. So we're working now on doing all of the selection on the program structure. So hopefully by the end of the month or the beginning of July, we're going to be sending you a lot more information on the program and its structure. I don't want to get into too much details about the goals, but the really important thing in this moment is to tell you a little bit about the process of this conference. This conference has been planned and put together with a group of volunteering organizations that work with and for youth. So we're very happy to tell you that we've been working with over 15 organizations in Mexico. Many of them are global. So part of this committee is Techo, for example. We also have World Vision, we have the YMCA, we have ISEC, and we have a very important number of also local organizations like IAVE, who's also a sponsor and who's also supporting Mexico youth to come to the conference. And it's really important to mention this because they have been the ones who have been planning with us everything that we're going to be sharing in the conference. So all of the goals of this conference are not only related to what we want to achieve as an organization, but also what youth volunteers are currently seeking for in an event that is planned with and for them. And the next one, please. Yeah, this is a little bit more of the goals. We have in the committee, in the general committee of the youth conference, we also have subcommittees. So we have a logistics one, we have a hosting subcommittee, we have a program subcommittee, we have a communication subcommittee, and they're the ones who are actually developing the strategy to reach out to as many youth as possible. But we definitely need your help in this. So if you have youth group, youth organizations that you want us to reach out to, please do let us know. We'll give you our emails in a little bit. Do let us know because that's very important for us in order to communicate better with possible attendees. Where is the conference going to happen? The conference is going to happen in Puebla City. Puebla is a UNESCO World Heritage City and is an authentic example of Mexico's essence. Puebla is located 2 hours or 2 hours and a half away from the city of Mexico. And the best way for us, the way that we're recommending for people to get there is to actually arrive to the airport, to the Mexico City airport. And in the airport, you don't have to go anywhere else, just in the airport, you can take a bus directly to Puebla, and it's very affordable, and it will take you straight to the city in 2 or 3 hours. We do have a partner that is a transportation company, but we're still not able to confirm that we're going to have transportation. So for now, the best option that we're giving to people is do arrive to the Mexico City airport because it's much cheaper than arriving to Puebla's airport that only has very limited national flights, domestic flights. The venue, we're very excited about this. The government of Puebla is totally on board on the conference, and CEMEFI has been a strategic partner to do this. They have secured the participation of the government, and we are able to use the William O. Jenkins Convention Center for the event. And yeah, this is very exciting. It's a facility that has everything that you look for when planning an event like this, and this is where the event is going to happen. Last but definitely not least, registration. So as of today, we don't have the registrations open for the youth conference. Yes, for the other conference, and my colleagues will tell you a little bit more about it, but for the youth conference, we're open it next week. We're working on the last details to do this, but we already have how much is it going to cost, and as you can see, we have been working very, very hard to make it as affordable as possible. So there are 3 options. So registration fee only is $50, and that means, and we'll tell you a little bit what that covers, but then there are 2 additional options that include lodging, and that lodging includes breakfast as well. So it's registration fee plus 3 nights of lodging. It's the 2, 3, and 4 of lodging, and that's $90. And then with registration fee plus 4 nights, and that's 2, 3, 4, and 5, it's $100. And where is the lodging? So we also, with the government of Puebla, we have been able to secure the lodging at a sports center called Vasquez Raña. They're gonna have we have the possibility to accommodate 180 people there, and this is what the registration fee includes: access to all of the sessions, working materials, so lunches are included, refreshments during breaks, and of course evening cultural events and our volunteering activities of the first day.
Thank you very much, Raida. Well, we are welcoming your questions, your doubts. Remember that you can type them, write them down in the question section, or eventually you can raise your hand. There is a button where you can signal in that you want to talk. Let us give 1 or 2 minutes for people write down any question before we go ahead. Okay. It seems that your explanation was absolutely detailed and enough for comprehension, very comprehensive.
We have
Okay, Sophie.
sorry, we have
Any questions that do come later, please feel free to email us at info@iave.org, and we'll make sure to send you all of the updated information on the youth conference.
Okay, here we have one question. Sofia Mejia is asking, can a volunteer manager over the age of 30 attend?
Yes, definitely, Sophia. I mean, we're open for those who are over 30 to come to the conference, but we're also, I mean, we want those who are over 30 that are coming to the conference to know that this is a youth conference and that is planned with and by and for youth. So if there's a manager that is over 30 and doesn't have a problem with understanding that the way this conference is going to operate, it's completely different from the other conference, we don't have any problems with welcoming people over 30.
Okay, thank you. We welcome together also, I'm sorry, to Cristina. Cristina is from Semefi and he had experienced a little technical problems, but she is back and she can help us on any doubts, further doubts that you may have about Mexico and travel and trips. And now she is typing me that she has new information about visas to Mexico. I'm not sure if, what do you think, my colleagues? Do we explore this point right now for youth conference too, or we continue?
I think we can wait till. I think we can wait till we get to the visa page that we've added.
Perfect, perfect. Okay, Cristina, thank you. We are going to talk in a minute. We can wait. Now, here we are. So this is the following conference, which is the 24th IAVE World Volunteer Conference and the 20th Semefi Annual Meeting. Kathy, do you want to comment about the audience?
Sure. We want to make sure that people understand that we're going to have the conference is built for everybody who's involved in volunteering. So there are going to be lots of workshops. We had over 400 applications for workshops for the World Volunteer Conference. So we've been doing a lot of reading, and hopefully that you'll all be pleased once you see what's placed there. The volunteer structures like volunteer centers, anybody working with volunteer organizations, global organizations who use volunteers to achieve their mission. Habitat's on the call. That would be an example of that. We also have corporate tracks, so those.
I'm sorry. Something went wrong here, but here we are. Sorry.
Okay. So those companies who have employee volunteer programs, we hope they'll be coming, and there will be a corporate track, those workshops that are targeted specifically for companies. and as well as individual volunteers. We also will be having a number of researchers who've been involved in doing research around volunteering.
Great.
Similar to the youth conference, we will have plenaries, the sessions targeted at all the participants of the conference. We'll also be having forums on different topics that are at discussions at a higher level, and we'll also be having workshops. And we'll also be having a information fair for organizations that want to have booths with their information or demonstration about their organization. Here is again the layout of the conference, the timing. Again, there might be some adjustments, as Raida said for the youth conference. I would say similar for this conference, some time adjustments, but this gives you the main idea of how the days are laid out. They will be very, very busy days. We have 12 different theme areas. And so, as I mentioned, the forums will be having several forums a day, again, focused on all these areas. Everything from the Sustainable Development Goals, some targeted specifically at business. We'll also be talking about disaster response and recovery, and as I mentioned earlier, research and measuring impact on volunteering. Here's some of our key speakers that are coming. Some of you may be familiar with Kumi Naidu. He now is the director of the African Civil Society Center in South Africa. Prior, he was the Secretary General for Greenpeace, and prior to that, he was the Secretary General for Civicus. So a long, long history of civil society engagement. Ricardo Tadeu is the CEO for Grupo Modelo, who is our main conference sponsor. And then Teresa Perales is a Paralympian. Again, we're hoping that she comes to us to talk about her gold medals that she'll be winning in Brazil. Registration for the World Conference is open. You can go to the website and find the buttons that will click you into registration. Again, we've worked really hard to keep the registrations as low as possible. So here's the international registration for people coming out from outside of the region. There's also registration specifically targeted at Latin America. We expect a majority of the participants to be coming from the Latin American region. And then there's also a registration specifically for those coming from Mexico. And as with the youth conference, here's a list of those activities that are included with the registration fee. Access to the session, any materials that are shared, lunch over the 3 days, as well as coffee breaks, and evening cultural events. And there is an early bird discount. The early bird goes until the 31st of July. I would encourage anybody who thinks they're coming to the conference to register now, because it is quite a savings. And now I'm going to turn it over to Jessica, who's going to talk to us about delegations. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. So delegations are a great way to really benefit and take full advantage of the conference. You can maximize your learning by coming as a group and gain significant discounts as well. So the first benefit is you get 1 free registration for every 10 paying participants. So that's a couple hundreds of dollars right there. And the second benefit is if you don't have enough people to make 10 or more participants, you can still receive a discount of 50% off of 1 registration if you have 5 to 9 paying members. The third benefit is you get the lowest possible rate that you're eligible for. So this means no matter when you pay or when you guys register as a delegation, you will receive the early bird price. You will also give your group special recognition during the the conference, and we'll make sure to note that on your name badges, and you'll also be included in the conference program. And the last benefit is dedicated support for your group. So our team will help you promote the conference and help you with the registration process, give you tips on the travel arrangements, and connect you with the right people so that your group can register and get situated comfortably and smoothly. So if you are interested in forming a delegation, you can visit our online form at iave.org/Mexico2016/delegations and fill out the form. And then within the next week or so, we will send you further information on collecting everyone's information and then going through the process from there on. Or you can just email me at jessica@iave.org and I can work with you from there.
Thank you very much, Jessica. So about delegations, and now a little information about visas. Visa requirements may vary by country or country of origins. So you have in the conference site at this address all the explanations, and if you eventually require a letter of invitation, please email info@cemefi.org. And now I will invite Cristina to share with us, only a minute for me to unmute you. Cristina, yes, please. What news do you have about visas?
Hello, everybody. And yes, I'm Cristina from Mexico. And yes, I have some more information. This is new legislation where all people having a visa, a tourist visa to the United States or to the Schengen trip in Europe or to Japan, they will be able to enter to Mexico without any visa. Like, for example, if you are Kenyan and you have an American visa, then you will be able to get into the country without having to ask for a visa in the Mexican embassy. This is a very new legislation, and we just got the information today, and we will be uploading this information in the website.
Great, perfect, Cristina. Okay. So here we are some logistics about that. I invite you, Cristina, to permanecer online with the microphone open, because you can add to these explanations. This is about the airport, private transport, taxis, recommending the authorized taxis, transfers, and also we have some ideas for you. CEMEFI sent this information. If you come in delegations, you can hire private transport. Here are some prices. I forgot to tell you that we are going to send to you all these presentations so that you can have all the information in one place for easy consulting. And anything else about logistics arriving, Cristina? Any suggestion from your side?
Well, just to remember that the main airport in Mexico will be the Mexico City's airport. And like, for example, if you want to go to Puebla, then you should take a bus from the airport to Puebla directly. You don't have to go out from the airport. You should just take the bus from the airport to Puebla. And then if you want to arrive to Puebla by plane, your first landing airport will be another airport that is not Mexico City's, okay? Because if you arrive to Mexico City, we suggest to take the bus. Then to arrive to Mexico, just we suggest to book in the hotels that are walking distances, walking distance hotels, because the others could be like pretty busy to get to the venue, because Mexico City is a big city, and in rush hours it can be like very heavy traffic. So we advise, or we suggest, to book the hotel in the walking distance hotels that we have suggested, and then you will be able to see the others that are around the venue, that are around 10 or 20 minutes distance to the
That's a
venue.
great advice. Okay, okay. So people must prefer to book hotels near the venue so that they can go by walking.
Exactly, the
Yeah.
neighborhood, it's a very nice one. So, and it's a walkable neighborhood, won't have any problems.
Okay. And here we have the email address and the telephone of Laura Hernandez, which is the person in the travel agency who can help you with any questions you have and eventually to book the hotels too, Christina, isn't it?
Exactly. You can book the hotels directly, but if you need help, you can also contact Laura from the travel agency, and she will be able to help you with that.
That's great. Thank you, Christina. So here we are. This is what we had for sharing with you. Everything is in the website, but we wanted to be sure that if you had any further questions or if you want to dialogue with us. So again, if you have any doubt, please type them into the question section or eventually raise your hand. I do not see any hands. Okay. I invite Raida, Christina, Kathy, if you want to add anything or you think we forgot any detail, please.
I'm sure we've forgotten something, and I hope people will send us questions if they have them. But I want to
Okay.
thank everyone for participating today, and appreciate your questions and you coming to the webinar. We hope to see you all in Mexico in November.
Thank you, Kathy. Okay, so please, if you have anything else to ask us during the next days or weeks, do not hesitate in contact us. Thank you very much for your presence. Thank you to the panelists and all our colleagues and Cristina from CEMEFI, and we will see you in Mexico. Bye bye.
Thank you very much. Bye bye.